Hi there, my name is Irena, and I would like to put some kind of review on the book that I recently read. And this book is closely related to those who are going to expect a baby or are already expecting a baby and they're preparing for birth, especially in UK or United States, basically in western side of countries. The book I'm going to talk about is The Guide to Childbirth by Ina May Gaskin, this one. And I've read this book because one of the online groups I'm subscribed to basically was highly recommending this for everyone who had experience before with their previous pregnancies and labors which could have not gone the way they wanted, or to anyone who's really less confident about going into labor or just getting to know what exactly is happening, and not necessarily from the biological point of view, but through really the hospitalizations and all the healthcare staff policies and all that things which really do affect a lot the natural birth processes. So I took a look, I got the book, I read it, and I'm kind of shocked. I wish I had read it when I was pregnant first time. My first pregnancy didn't really, pregnancy itself was alright, but the labor was really traumatic, and it ended up in emergency C-section. And now my son is over 3 years old. So the healing process, I'm not talking about healing in terms of my wounds and physical healing, that went alright, but the psychological process, it took a while to stand up on my feet and understand what's really happened. So in this book, the author of the book is recognized as really one of the leading midwives in the United States. She's one of the founder of the farm. Basically, it's a place which, as I understood, was set up by a group of then hippies, and they just travel around the United States. They finally stay in one place, and they set up this kind of so-called farm. And through the time, women, they obviously got pregnant. They were giving birth, and one of the midwives really was the author of the book, Ina May, and she started really her practice through really natural approach, where there was not much of interventions. And through her practice, because she's quite experienced midwife now, she decided to share her statistics and the whole experience, that it is so different if you compare this with modern technological perspective, that happening in hospitals nowadays, where we have so many inductions, so many cesareans. It's really surprising when I read that almost 1/3 of the labor right now ended up in cesarean section. It's just crazy. So she, through the whole book, I'm not gonna talk more details about this because I really want you to read it, but through her book she really explains that every single woman really has the strength and is designed naturally to give birth without really much intervention. And what's really happening is that we are bombarded with media and with these horror stories about the woman really cannot cope with labor itself. They cannot, somehow doctors are more specifically experienced and trained into pathological aspects of birth when something really goes wrong, and they are not really trained when woman just needed to be left alone and she would be fine. She really what really struck me was such a simple analogy for birth as something physiological, something natural that happens to us. And she said, really, when you let's say go to toilet and you do your business, you need peace, you need to be calm, you need to be alone, and you need to be relaxed just to, whatever you have to do in the toilet to be finished, to be completed. And exactly the same thing happened really with birth. If you're gonna be stressed, if you're gonna be observed by someone else in a very strange environment with lights and everything, this is not gonna happen. And very often in births, that's what's happening. The woman goes to the labor ward sorry, in the hospital, and she was contracting very, very regularly at home, but when she arrives in the hospital, the contraction stops, and sometimes like the whole process stops for some time, and then it is very likely that people will induce her, which is really the last thing you want to do, because in many cases the induction ends up on the cesarean section, because this is not something that body is designed to cope very well. I mean, induction basically is putting you on hormones which are supposed to keep the contractions stronger, and sometimes those hormones are really, really affecting in a very negative way your own hormones and your own body. Sometimes uterus, the place where the back where really your baby is with the waters, is contracting too much, and very often this might end up very being damaged, or can lead to some serious consequences. At the end of the day, you end up cesarean section. So I had like plenty of notes from this book. I am currently having my second baby. I am 7.5 months pregnant now, and I realized that I want to really make informed choices this time. I want to know exactly what rights I have, because I don't feel that I'm getting the right informed. I don't think I'm getting sufficient information from my health providers, and very often just tell me like, okay, we're gonna do this and that, and I don't even know I can reject that. I didn't know that. And the fact that I don't really have my parents here with me, obviously that doesn't help either. So I have to make sure that I have enough knowledge to really support myself in terms of information, but also thanks to this book, in terms of what I'm capable to do as a woman, to have a body which is perfectly designed to do it on my own. So I don't really want to go into details. There's lots of statistics inside, there's lots of evidence and research, and I really think every woman, honestly every woman who is planning to have a baby, first, second or third, who went through nice periods of pregnancy or not, should really, thinking seriously about labor, should really read this book. Again, it's Ina May Gaskin, and the book is called Guide to Childbirth. it's definitely worth it to read. If you had read it, please leave the comment, and I'm really happy to read your comments and make some discussion maybe on the topic. And maybe you can have some suggestions for another literature. I'm really looking forward to that. Bye!